You know, they say that true love finds you when you least expect it. But what happens when love finds you broken? When your heart's still bleeding from old wounds, your trust is shattered, and you can't even see the beauty that someone else sees in you. I'm talking about the kind of love that holds you when you're breaking, that prays for you when you're still wilding out, and still calls you baby when you've given them every reason to walk away. Well, that's my story. That's our story. And today, in honor of our fifth wedding anniversary, I want to tell you how God sent me my Boaz, my hubby bear, even when I didn't know how to receive him. So come on in, pull up your chair, and grab your cup, because today it's all about love. You already know what time it is. It's time to say your grace. So let's get to sipping. Come on. It's time to say your grace. Hey, Grace family. Welcome back to Say Your Grace, real soul talk, where we feed the soul with truth, love, and a whole lot of grace, one conversation at a time. I am your girl, Nina Jones, your messenger of hope, here to share encouragement, real time faith, and a reminder that none of us have to walk this journey alone. So, if you haven't already, go ahead and like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a single sermon right here on Say Your Grace Real Soul Talk. This week's sermon of grace is soaked in love, a lot of love, healing, and God's divine timing. Not just the romantic kind of love, but the kind of love that heals, restores, and redeems. Because before there was a Love Jones 2020, there was a broken girl learning how to truly believe in love again. I'm sharing our story in honor of our upcoming fifth wedding anniversary. Because listen, God has truly written a redemption story with us, through us. And what God has done in our marriage is living proof that His love never fails. Okay? So let's start off here. When I first met my baby, Rufus, it was almost 13 years ago. I was still such a broken woman. I had trust issues, abandonment issues, self esteem issues, everything with the issue attached to it. That was me. I was carrying trauma from domestic abuse, and I honestly didn't even know what genuine love felt like. I didn't love myself, and I sure didn't see my own worth. Then here comes this tall, dark, chocolate, handsome knight in shining armor. Sweet, caring, kind, patient. He spoiled me and saw things in me that I couldn't even imagine for myself. He made me feel safe. But truth be told, I wasn't ready to receive that kind of love. Deep down inside, I didn't believe I deserved it. And you know what they say? Hurt people hurt people. So, what did I do? I did everything in my power to push this man away. And trust me when I say everything. I was still sneaking out, entertaining other guys, doing reckless things just to see how much I could get away with. Almost testing him, waiting for the other shoe to drop. But through it all, he stayed kind. He stayed loving. He stayed patient. He kept trying to love me even when I was at my most unlovable part in my life. Real talk. When Rufus came along, my first thought wasn't, this is the one. No, it was, this is too good to be true, right? So listen, if you've ever seen the old Saturday Night Live skits with Mango, you'll get this next part. Mango was unpredictable. One minute saying, I love you, and the next minute, no, I don't. You can't have the mango. Y'all, that was me. That was the nickname Rue gave me. I was hot, then cold, loving, then distant, just testing him, pushing him, waiting for him to give up on me. I still go out, get drunk, like literally cuss him out for no reason. And then once I sobered up the next day, realizing the damage I'd done the night before, I'd be sitting up here crying so remorsefully, saying, Baby, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. I was so used to disappointment that I tried to create it before it could find me. But Rufus, he stayed the same, y'all. He loved me through it all, not perfectly, but persistently. Even when I was acting like Mango, dramatic, confused, and afraid to let love in. He chose patience over pride, grace over grudges, and love over fear. He would always tell me that there's so much more to me, but I just wouldn't allow myself to see beyond the hurt inside. Then, one night, after yet another argument caused by you know who, yep, me, of course, I could see it in his eyes. He could barely stand to look at me. I had gone way too far, and he'd had enough, and rightfully so. And I'll never forget thinking, I did it again. I ruined something good. Woo! Yeah, when I think about it, that moment right there, that night became the moment everything started to shift. That's when God started showing me something deeper, which brings us to today's grace check. Because instead of walking away, God started walking through me. He began showing me that love isn't earned, it's given. That His love was never dependent upon my perfection, and neither was the love Rufus was offering me. That's when I realized this wasn't just a love story between a man and a woman. It was a love story between me and God. Because 1 Corinthians 13, it isn't just pretty words to read at weddings. It's revelation of God's heart. Love is patient. Love is kind. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love never fails. And when that kind of love, God's love, gets inside of you, it transforms you from the inside out. It changes how you love, how you forgive, how you see yourself, and how you see others. Because when you truly receive His love, He'll send people who love you like He does, not to replace Him, but to reflect Him. Psalm 37 and verse 4 reminds us to delight yourself also in the Lord, and He shall give you the desires of your heart. But here's the beautiful part. When we truly delight in Him, when our hearts are surrendered and focus shifts from what we want to what He wills, our desires begin to align with His. And that's when His blessings show up not just as what we asked for, but as what we needed all along. He's shaping your heart while shaping the promise. He's teaching you to trust His timing, because when you yield and when you heal, that's when He releases what's been waiting for you all along. Okay? And that, sweet people, that is your grace check for today. Listen, y'all, when I think about our story, I can't help but think about Ruth and Boaz. If you haven't read that beautiful love story in the book of Ruth, do yourself a huge favor and go back and read it. It's one of the most beautiful stories of grace, redemption, and God's divine timing. Ruth came to Boaz's field not looking for romance. She was just trying to survive. But her obedience and humility positioned her for divine favor. Boaz saw her worth before she even recognized it in herself. And that's what my husband did for me, y'all. He saw me through God's eyes, not my brokenness. Rufus, my Boaz. He didn't save me, but God used him to show me what love redeemed looks like. He was my covering, my calm, my reflection of grace. Almost 13 years together and 5 years of marriage later, our love has truly become what I call a beautiful, bountiful harvest of hope. I share more about that journey in my book, The Harvest of Hope, Sowing Seeds from My Broken Pieces. If you would like to grab a copy, you can find the link in the description. Y'all, love isn't always neat or easy. It's often born out of pain, watered by tears, a lot of tears, and grown by grace. But when God plants it, oh, trust me, it will definitely bear fruit. Because what started out as chaos turned into covenant. What began in brokenness has blossomed into beauty. And it's proof that when you let God write your story, He'll give you the desires of your heart, even when you don't even know what's best for you, even when your heart is too afraid to hope again. God is still working behind the scenes. Case in point, God knew I needed a man like Rufus, not to complete me, but to complement the woman He was shaping me to become. So, if you're watching this and you've been hurt, if you've given up on love, if you feel like you've made way too many mistakes, I want you to hear me when I say this. God's love never fails. Let me repeat that. God's love never fails. He's not done writing your story. He restores, He renews, and He will give you the desires of your heart right on time in His perfect way. Let Him heal you first, and then He'll send someone who loves you whole, fully. So, to my amazing hubby bear, Rufus, thank you for loving me through it all. Thank you for being patient when I was impossible. Thank you for being gentle when I was guarded. And thank you for being my steady love when I was still shaky. Here's to 5 years of marriage, 13 years of love, and a lifetime of grace. Love Jones 2020 forever. I love you, babe. Y'all, that's today's serving of grace, straight from my heart to yours. If this message touched your spirit even a little bit, do me a huge favor and show your girl some love and hit that like button. Every like tells YouTube that this grace-filled message is making a difference, and it also helps my small channel reach more beautiful souls like you. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so we can keep growing in grace together. Let's keep learning to love God's way with patience, forgiveness, and faith. Because when we slow down long enough to sit at His feet, we discover that His love, again, truly never fails. You can bet on that. Even in our brokenness, He's working. He's aligning our hearts, healing our wounds, and giving us so much more in His perfect timing. Okay? So, until next time, Grace family, may God continue to bless you real good. And don't keep it all to yourself. Go out there and be a blessing to someone else. And no matter what life throws your way, always remember to say your grace. Okay. See you next time. Mwah. Bye.
It's time to say